form of category of macular degeneration is commonly referred to as wet macular degeneration. And what happens there is the breakdown in that pigment layer that I was talking about before. You get little holes forming in that pigment layer, and blood vessels grow up from the layer of the eye beneath there, and those blood vessels are abnormal, very fragile, and bleed very easily. And so what happens is you'll get fluid building up at the back, the macula at the back of the eye, and that's what's happened to this poor patient here. This smudgy area is actually a whole big ball of fluid. There's probably some bleeding under there as well, and the white spots there are actually cholesterol and proteins and things leaching out of the fluid and causing like little high tide marks. But this whole area here is quite swollen, and they'll have very poor vision right in the middle. And unfortunately, this is the same lady several months later, where those blood vessels have bled very heavily. You can see really bad hemorrhaging and bleeding, and this will then progress into forming quite a large scar. There are actually treatments available to help this type of problem now. Quite a lot of people have heard of them. There's injections into the eye using drugs that will dry up all of that fluid, and if it's caught early enough, probably before this sort of stage, you actually can maintain pretty good vision, although the injections are required on an ongoing basis every 1 to 2 months by the eye surgeon. There's also different types of laser treatment, as well as some other new ones in research that are not too far away. So this form is actually more treatable, even though it's a more severe form, but it's all about maintaining as good a vision as possible and preventing further deterioration. Never actually cures it. Those blood vessels growing up are like little weeds, and it's like putting Roundup on them. They keep growing back, but you keep them under control. So the main risk factors for macular degeneration is a family history, a history of exposure to the sun, being overweight, poor diet, and smoking is the #1 risk factor. So you've got to cut out the ciggies and make some lifestyle moderations and have regular eye checkups, and we can detect that. So as part of your normal eye examination, we check thoroughly the macula at the back of your eye. The signs of any problems that you might notice would be wavy distortion in your vision, not just a straight blur, but things actually looking straight lines, looking a bit wobbly. And we have a thorough look in the back of the eyes. We do our routine retinal photography so we can detect fine detail changes, and then from there we have our OCT scanners, which I've talked about in one of our other videos, which looks underneath there and can sort of x-ray the retina, and from there it's a matter of us watching or referring you on for any treatment. So to prevent macular degeneration, it's really important to have regular eye tests and have that thorough look, which is what we do here in Envision Optical, and we'd love to look after your eyes and your family's eyes. So call us and make an appointment.